Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Emma Lefebvre, and today we are going to be doing a floral monogram type 2022 as our first painting of the year. So let's do it. Okay guys, so for our first official watercolor painting of 2022, I thought I would do like a floral monogram 2022. I actually was inspired by an idea from a watercolor artist named Jolly, and she actually has a YouTube channel, so I will link it below, but I just saw her do something similar on Instagram, and she wrote out 2022 and then just freehanded kind of the florals all around it. I'm going to do it kind of like how I've done my floral monograms in the past with masking fluid. You don't have to do it that way. If you just want to try and stain the lines, you definitely can. But I'm going to be using masking fluid for this. So I am painting in my Perfect Sketchbook by Etchr Lab. I have my Winsor & Newton Professional Watercolors in my palette. I have my Emma Lefebvre brush in a size 6, which I'll be using, a pencil and eraser to write out 2022. And then I'm also going to be using, like I said, my masking fluid. So I just have a really cheap brush that is old and I don't even know where I got it from. So this is what I use for my masking fluid. You do not want to use your good brushes for this. I've heard if you dip your brush into dish soap before the masking fluid, it won't ruin your brush as much. I don't do that because I like to live dangerously. But like I said, you don't have to have masking fluid. That's just what I'm going to be using it for. So I'm just going to sketch out 2022 first. And hopefully I'll come up with something I like and then we'll get to painting. Okay, so once I was done sketching out 2022 with my pencil, I tried to make the lines a little lighter, but not too light because I didn't want you to not be able to see it. And then I just started applying my masking fluid. And I actually put it on the pencil line because once you take masking fluid up, it will actually take some of the pencil off with it, which is great because then you don't really have to do too much erasing. I did do it a little bit darker than I would have if I wasn't filming because I did want you to be able to see it. And even still, people would probably say it's too light, but I wouldn't do it this dark. I would do it a lot lighter so you don't have to erase as much. It's because after I'm done all this, I could actually still see the pencil lines. So make sure you do your pencil lines as light as you can and then place your masking fluid over top. Again, if you don't have masking fluid, don't worry about it. You can just try and watercolor inside the lines your best. This just makes it a little bit easier and allows for some of those floral lines to be a bit sharper. Okay, so once you're done applying it, you're going to allow it to fully dry, and you'll know it's completely dry because none of it will come up on your finger, and it will also turn more of like a yellow color, and it kind of feels a bit tacky to the touch, like rubber. And now you're ready to start painting. So the first thing I wanted to do was choose my color palette, and I went with some blues and purples. So I just kind of wet up the colors that I thought I would want. Decided on some of the loose flowers I was going to do, which I think I wanted to do more of those like stocky kind of flowers like delphiniums or lilacs, just something easy. So no big flowers, which at the end of this, I kind of regretted that I did a couple like bigger roses or something because I don't love the way that it turned out. I will be honest with you right now. And you'll also notice that this first number that I'm doing, I do the flowers a lot smaller. And once I finished that number, I realized I didn't like how cluttered it looks. So if you don't want to do this part, don't follow the first two. Follow the second two numbers because then I show you how to do it a little bit bigger. And in my opinion, I think it looks a bit better. You're going to do the same flowers ultimately. You're just going to make them a little bit bigger in size because I just found it was just a little too small and cluttered. But my rule of thumb when I am applying my flowers in a monogram like this is I want them to be kind of evenly spread out. You don't want it to be symmetrical on both sides, like one on each side. You want it to be kind of evenly distributed, but like in a zigzag pattern. So you'll see I do like 2-ish at the top, and then I start to move down the 2 and then 1 to the bottom of the 2. And that's just kind of how I make it look a bit more loose and organic. So I'm gonna actually skip ahead to the 0 because that's the way I actually enjoyed the way it looked. Wasn't too big of a fan of this. So let's skip ahead to that part. So as you can see, that first finished 2, it also has a little bit of like peachy pink in it. So I'll get to that when we do it on the 0. But again, I'm just starting the same way. My brush is upside down with the pointed part in, and I'm just starting with a couple buds at the top, just using the shape of my brush to make these almost like lilac kind of shaped flowers. And I do 1 to the top, then I move down like in a diagonal, 1 to the side, and then 1 down. You don't want to go straight across, if that makes sense. So like the one at the top, I don't have one directly across from it in a parallel way. It's going down in a diagonal, and it just makes it look like it flows a bit better. So I also added some purple into there. Totally up to you. You can also do a totally different color palette. This is the beauty of this, is that you can just do whatever speaks to you. But yeah, so I add some longer leaves at the bottom of these flowers, just very loose, again using the shape of that brush to create these petals and the leaves. And that's about it for that part. Next, I mixed a peachy pink color by using permanent rose and some cadmium yellow, and I'm just doing these like super loose tiny little flowers, like literally little scribbles for each petal. And I'm just placing them within those white spaces in between the blue flowers. And then I'm going to grab some of my green and just do tiny little stems. Like I said before, like once I finished this, I wasn't like, I'll be honest, I wasn't too fond of the flowers I chose. You can definitely look at some of my other monochrome. Nope. Where'd the word go? Lost it. Wow, monogram is the word I was trying to come up with. Oh goodness. Yeah, if you want to look at my other monogram videos, you can see where I put different flowers in them, and it's totally up to you. So I think that's what I was talking about. Like I said, some of these flowers are a little bit too small for me. I do like this 0 better than the first 2. I feel like it just looks a little bit more spaced out and just more aesthetically pleasing. And then once you see the final, it doesn't look too different and it doesn't look too bad, but they definitely don't go together. And this is just an example of me playing around and kind of, you know, just painting and trial and error. So that's it. That's just kind of how I did it, and I encourage you to try if this is something you want to do, because it's pretty simple and fun. I'm going to skip to the part after just watching these little flowers again, of me taking off the masking fluid so you can see the full thing done, which is appropriate because I actually didn't zoom out and film the last 2 for this tutorial. I'm telling you, this pregnancy brain is just totally messing with me. So expect these quality tutorials more often, my friends. I do apologize. And then, yeah, I'll show you the finished piece. Okay, so here is how you take off the masking fluid. You can just rub your finger over it a little bit, and then you can literally pull it away. If you've never used masking fluid before, it's pretty cool. I have the Winsor & Newton kind. It's super easy to remove. I would test out your masking fluid first on whatever paper you're using, because I have had some in the past that rip the paper up, but this kind works perfectly. And there you go. There is our 2022. So as you can see, the first number does not go well with the rest of it, but it's not too bad. And I think I was a lot harder on myself during the process than at the end when I actually saw it all together. It doesn't look too bad. And that is about it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.